We would like to thank AJ and Christian Doyle for our t-shirts. We'd also like to thank Chipotle and Snap Race for helping us raise our money and all the people who donated to us. We would also like to thank every teacher at Brentwood High School, especially Bo Sedler and Brian Joyce, and our alumni graduate Jordan Croft Jackson for the support, help, and assistance, and all the advice they gave us over our time period building this bot.
Well, I think it means a lot for the manufacturing field to promote these kind of jobs early on to people in high school. Gives them a taste of what's out there, what opportunities they have, and if they're interested in it.
First, I'd like to thank United High School and the board at United High School for the continued support they give to our robotics club teacher, Mr. Lee, who graciously gives all of his time to allow us to stay after late and even come in on Saturdays when he's not paid to and hang out with us and make sure we do well. We'd also like to thank the IBM Corporation because they continuously give us a grant every year so that we can continue focusing on the bot and not focusing on fundraisers or anything else. And that's about everyone to thank. So Mr. Schmidt was always there to help us with the robot, but he never gave us, he never told us what we had to do. He just would ask us what we wanted to do, and we then tell us what was wrong with our idea or what was right with our idea.
Well, I would like to give my thanks to Penn United, mainly for heat treating, to HER, to XDO, and especially Gene Haas.
We have a multitude of advisors such as RNS, Jefferson, Femco, and really big special thanks to Kim London, and especially the weather. It's such a nice day today.
One of our sponsors, Terrific, it helps us create unity and it really creates some memories.
I'd like to thank Femco for helping us out in the past. They've really helped us with machining our weapon.
All of our advisors really did a great part in helping us bring everything together. Some of them supplied things like materials, which we used to make our robots, and others helped by helping us do our touring and get stuff that we needed to get done for a notebook for here.
Our sponsors of Super Bolts helped us create our weapon, and they showed us what a factory of their, what they made and everything, so it was interesting to learn what different machining jobs there were. And our advisor, Mr. Purdy, helped us develop good leadership skills and to produce a robot that we were pretty proud of.
Our industry advisor is Lockheed Martin, so I'd like to really thank them. They really helped us out a lot. They provided a real efficient way to cut out our frames. They water jetted our frames for us, and then they did the weapon for us, and then did a finishing machine on the weapon for us since we don't have a big CNC machine. It was very vital for our robotics team, and we greatly appreciate the help that they provided since they stopped production for helping out just a small town team for BotsIQ.
Yeah, I'd like to thank DMI. Obviously, they're a huge help, and we couldn't have done it without them. I'd also like to thank our teacher, Mr. Pappas, because he was a huge help and was always there when we had questions. And I'd pretty much like to thank everyone here for giving us the opportunity to come and make this happen. It was a lot of fun.
So our industry sponsor was RE², and our advisor was Andre. So since this is really our first year in quite a while that our school would have a team that would have a weapon and a functional robot, it really meant a lot to have someone with a lot of knowledge in the field of machining to help manufacture parts accurately so that they would fit together and work without a hitch. And it took a lot of effort to do engineering and re-engineering, and he taught us also a lot about thinking more about how you machine a part when you are going to engineer the part.
Our industry advisor was Mr. Michael Mazarek from JV Manufacturing, and our team advisor was our teacher for the Intro to Engineering class, Mr. John Malabicki. It was very important to have both of our industry and teaching advisor here as part of our team this year, and that was especially important since many of us were brand new to the engineering world and to the aspect of BotsIQ. And so with their guidance, we learned a lot and got to do something that we had never done before.
I'd like to thank everyone at Free Off Metalwork and Smith's Metalwork for helping us
Don't know what we could do without you, and Gagliardi for supplying us with material. They really helped us actually have a bot to be here. Without them, we wouldn't have any of the metal or a working bot at all.
Thank you to Perryman Company and all of our other sponsors for helping us get to the point where we are right now. We had a fun time, and just thank you so much for everything. It was really important because they helped cut a lot of parts, and they have really good engineers there to help us give us pointers and stuff like that we would need to use. They really helped us with designing and use of materials for our bot.
I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Nikovich for letting us do this, and it's been fun. It's been a great bonding time with everyone in the room, and we just had a blast.
We would like to thank Chris Mance, Tom Porterfield, Vinny DiStefano, and our industry advisor, DPS in Machining and Fabricating. Well, Mon Valley CTC has their own fabricating and machining area for working on the robot, and whenever we had a question, we would ask them for advice and he would guide us through.
This year our industry advisor was Summit Machine, located in West Alberton, Westmoreland County. They helped us supplying our weapon system and our frame assembly, and we definitely learned a lot from them. Well, they did our machine processing with our weapon assembly, so they were able to produce 3 weapon assemblies that we were able to swap out if we needed to, and then they also created a frame assembly out of aluminum, so we were able to have a firm assembly set. We'd like to thank our sponsor, the Haas Foundation, and finally I'd like to thank our teachers, Mr. Wood and Mr. Anderson, through their support and assistance throughout this whole assembly process.
We would first like to say thank you to our sponsor, Mr. Clark, for all the help he gave us, as well as Brian Burns, our industry advisor. Without them, the bot would have never became a reality. They helped machine all of our parts for our bot, especially our framework, which was made out of steel, and without them, it wouldn't have been possible. They showed us how the machining works for all the parts, and we learned a lot about how much time goes into making every part for the bot.
Our industry advisors was B-Wise Trailers in Chambersburg. The partnership was great because we got to go see what it's like in a local manufacturing company. We got to see some of the processes they go through, what their everyday is like, and they helped us out because they helped us with our fabrication of some of our parts.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Genesim Manufacturing, Miller Plastic, and Universal Electric. Universal Electric gave us a tour of their facility, and we had great insight into the opportunities of manufacturing besides the standard machining shop. And Genesim Manufacturing made our 6-pound weapon this year. We are greatly grateful for that.
Our industry advisors would be JV Manufacturing and John Malabicki of Highlands High School in the engineering department. Most importantly, I would say that time management is the biggest skill that we learned, also along with integrity and leadership.
We'd like to thank Oberg Industries for helping us out whenever we needed advice or for cutting anything that we couldn't, and also to Hobby Express, Battery Giant, and Metco for giving us reduced rates when we go in to buy supplies, and especially to Battery Giant for donating our battery for us this year. Whenever we had a part that we couldn't machine ourselves, we did most of our machining ourselves, but if we had a titanium piece, we would give it to them and they would machine it for us. They also machined our weapon for us out of tool steel, and we went and toured their facility as a group, and we got to see what they do on a daily basis. We got to see how they work, we got to see their machines, and it was really interesting because they gave us insight into how to pursue a career in manufacturing.
Me and my team would like to thank Accutrex and Brandon Craig for their support, Schmidt Technologies, the Gene Haas Foundation, Bob Leach, Don Kunzelman, and of course our school board and our administration for the support of our program. They helped us with a lot of the milling of our robot and just advice and helpful tips.
We would like to thank Mike Camino
and Mike Muner
from Schroeder Industries.
We'd also like to thank the Central Valley Education Foundation.
And we'd also like to thank our teacher, Mr. Fiedler.
So just thank you to Tekin, Servo City, Jim Donatelli, and
as well as XPS Technology, Terrence Trucking, as well as our advisors, Mr. Bailey and Mr. Sonosky. Industry advisors basically knew how to and create the bot with them and how they look at the bot and how we look at the bot separately from that, we were able to design the bot so industry can look at it the way we were.
And they also gave us some discounts on some of our products that we needed to use in the bot, so that helped us out drastically.
We would like to thank LNS for the huge amount of help that they've provided for us, and we'd also like to thank our teacher, Mr. Grimm. So LNS helped us with the milling of the titanium, which was huge because we didn't have the necessary equipment to mill it.
Our industry advisors were mainly Jefferson Machine, specifically Kim London, Miller Welding Machining, specifically Dave Miller from there, Femco, which was Joel Kaiser and Robbie Hall, and then from R&S Machining, Tim Burkett. But we have to thank everyone who gave us help and support along the ways, and we also have to thank our sponsor T-Rific, who gave us a deal on our t-shirts, which look pretty good.
Our industry advisor for this year is Tyler Dorsch, and he's helped us out a lot with just in general making sure that our bot is working correctly, and he's helped us to improve it since last year. To our team, it means that we have an avenue to kind of get advice on what we should be doing with the robot and what steps to take next to make it better and improve our chances of winning. We'd like to thank MSA for donating us 10 grand this year to our tech classes at Seneca Valley, and we'd like to thank Mr. Logsden for assisting us this year in the construction of the robot. We hope that we can come back next year and do even better.
So our advisor, Mr. Purdy, guided us. He taught us how to use several different tools, guided our design process. Our industry advisor was Superbolts. We learned about manufacturing, how cutting edge and technologically advanced the manufacturing field is.
Well, since it's my senior year, I want to thank just everybody from BotsIQ to teachers to anybody that helped out Cannon Millen through robotics. It's been a great experience, and wish everybody the best of luck.
Hey guys, we want to start off thanking all the cool cats out there who made this competition possible. We also want to thank all of our amazing sponsors. It's like wow. We want to thank our faculty advisor, Mrs. Solomon, and industry advisor, George Steele and Irwin Automation. It's crazy how many people we want to thank. However, in all honesty, this competition could have used a little more cowbell. Just sing it, baby.